Welcome everyone to Get Your Game On, the channel dedicated to immersive gaming experiences. So a few months back you may recall that I did the No-Cog mod on my H6 here, and at the end of that video I decided against using them on a regular basis in favor of waiting to see what DOF Reality comes out as an official fix for the cogging issue. Now, because I had 6 of those motors that were not going to be used any longer, I decided to offer those up to my viewers and give them away to some people who had either an H3 or an H2 that might be able to put them to better use. Well, I want to thank everybody that sent in a submission for the giveaway. I had some really good entrants, and it was really hard for me to choose 3 out of the group that I got. But I did pick 3, and that includes Brian in the United Kingdom. I also sent a set to Bill in Texas. And then Gary was right here locally in Colorado. Now, because he's so close, I decided to hand deliver the motors to him personally. And he invited me in so we could spend a little time talking about motion platforms, showcasing his rig, and then also I got to take the H3 for a spin for the first time ever. I've never been in one before, but he was gracious enough to let me try out his simulator while I was there. So let's go visit Gary down the road. Welcome everyone to Golden, Colorado. We're here with Gary at his awesome shop, and Gary is one of the people that I chose to give our No-Cog Motors away to. And Gary, I'd just like to give this to you and say I'm so thrilled after seeing your amazing shop here. I think they're going to find a perfect home here. So I appreciate you sending in the email, and I hope those go to good use.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with them, and we'll see what we can do. It's going to be a pretty good challenge with the later H3. The H3, the latest H3 is a real nice improvement over the earlier versions, I think. And so they've done some work, and it's going to be exciting to see what I can kind of pull off. Hopefully, I can pull off.
Well, again, I'm excited because, as you all know, this mod was really designed for the older units, but Gary felt that he was up to the challenge to at least explore the possibility of getting them to work on the newer units while DOF continues to work on finding their own official fix. And again, after being at the shop, Gary's got all the tools and all the skills I think that are necessary. If anybody's going to be able to make these work on the older units, I think this man here is going to be our best chance. So, and the good thing is, if you do figure something out, you're just down the road from me, and it's going to be really easy to come and we can kind of document what happens.
Yeah, success or failure, we'll find out, I guess, huh? So, yeah, I'll give it a try.
So while Gary puts those away, I know all of you out there are going to accuse me of just picking Gary because he's local, he's here close to me, but I can assure you there's nothing farther from the truth, because I haven't told you this yet, Gary, but your email was exactly what I had in mind when I had originally thought of giving these away. You're someone that's very creative. Those of you can see his DOF unit here. He's done a lot of custom work, and he has all the skills and equipment here that I think he's going to be able to do something with these. So I can tell you that even if I would have got your email and you lived across the world, I would have figured out a way to get these to you. So thank you again for sending me such a great email.
Well, it's really nice that you responded, and yeah, so far as the work that's done on the rig, it's pretty agricultural, honestly. I wasn't trying to please anybody but myself, and so I hope everybody understands that, so.
Yeah, and we're going to show you guys a little bit about the simulator up close, but tell us about this seat. Now, I recognize the seat. I knew when I first saw this what this was from, but tell the audience kind of the design philosophy and tell them what the inspiration was for all this.
Well, it all starts with the DOF sim rig. I mean, since they supply the rig and you've got to make a seat or come up with a seat, I thought, you know what, I'd really like to have a World War II fighter pilot seat. And so I started looking online, and I saw, I've got, you can find pictures of Corsair seats and P-38 seats and Mustang seats and Spitfire seats, on and on. And they all have a lot of they're all generally a lot alike, I guess I should say. Some have a notch in the front that clears the flight stick, some don't. Some have higher sides, this kind of thing. So I told my wife, I thought, maybe I could make a seat. And she said, well, I'll make you some cushions if you make a seat. So that was the inspiration. So I just looked on the, I looked in around the shop, found I had some sheet metal. It was a bit rough, but okay. And sliced it up and glued it together.
Well, I was looking at the welds and everything, so they look pretty dang good. Far better than anything I could have done. So, yeah, very impressive. And I am going to take a ride in this. Gary's promised to let me take it for a spin. And I actually have never been in an H2 or an H3. This will be the first time I've ever been in one of these platforms. My only experience is in my H6, so it's going to be really fun to kind of see the difference of them and everything. So, one of the things, since I got you here, I want to talk a little bit about what kind of got you into the flight simming. Why did you choose to spend all this time, building the seat and getting so heavily involved in this little hobby of ours?
Well, I'm really not a gamer, but I've always wanted to fly. I can hardly drive, I always say I can't even drive a nail. But I worked around cars a lot and this kind of thing. And I thought, doggone it, I'd really like to fly though. And when the flight simming started, this is 20 plus years ago, I finally decided to go ahead and spend the money and buy, I think it was Combat Flight Simulator 2,
Okay.
Microsoft. And boy, was that hard for me to do. I couldn't, it was really challenging to play that game. But I stayed with it, and then I think 2004 came out, or Microsoft's regular flight sim, and then they came out with 10, and 10 was such a big improvement. And I thought, boy, this is neat. This really feels like something you could do. And so I started doing that. And the place I was working, some of the engineers were into it as well. And they kind of got hooked up, and so we had a lot of fun. I'd be on the road a lot, and we'd both all try to do better landings and takeoffs and things like that. Yeah. And it just went that way. And then finally, when Microsoft announced that they were going to come out with 2020, I thought, boy, this ought to be a heck of an improvement, because it was such a hype. There was so much hype. So I thought I'd put together a better computer and get involved. And it's just growing from there. It just turns into a monster.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that. You start. I've still got the original Microsoft Sidewinder 2 flight stick I started with 20 plus years ago, and I've just now recently made a new one with the VP Rhino do-it-yourself kit, and so that's how it's gone. And so yeah, I'm having fun. It's really neat, and I just hope I get some time to really learn how to fly.
Yeah, we all need more time to fly. So those early days, obviously, we didn't have motion. I'm assuming you didn't have motion in those early days. So tell me about your experience and what you thought. I want to see if it's similar to my experience. What was your first experience when you actually finally got to fly with motion?
The truth is, it's worked this way. When I finally got a head tracker, that was an amazing improvement. And then I thought, maybe I'll try VR. And I finally took the step and bought a VR headset. That changed everything. That was I couldn't stop laughing. And I couldn't stop grabbing the controls that I couldn't even grab.
Yes.
It was just overwhelmingly fun. And I thought, this is neat. So that grows. And then the motion sim stuff started, but they were really expensive. Yeah. And, of course, the only one that was even within reach, theoretically, was the DOF system. But I wasn't ready to go for the DOF system because of the fact that I had to justify it somehow to be something else. And so I thought, if I could make it my regular chair that I actually use in my shop, and I could turn it off and do my real work on it, that would be something. So I even thought far enough along to say, well, I could put a couple of 4x4s under the thing when it shuts down, so when it flops, it just flops on them. It would work. But then they came out with the brakes and the latest encoder motors, and I said, okay, I'll take the plunge. And I wanted to get at least 3 axes. So that's where it went. And I was ready to get knocked off, my socks knocked off. And it's been good. But what I've kind of learned is that it really takes some tuning. It's not, if you just start the new unit up, it throws you around so much, and maybe if you're younger, it's okay. But for me, it was, gosh, this can't be good. And so I backed it off a lot and tuned it, and especially actually with your videos, discussing this with Jeff Weaver has really helped a lot. And so, and then the advice on Discord. There's been a lot of good advice. And actually toning everything down has actually made it felt much more realistic.
Yeah, I'm hoping if you get those cog mods in there, that'll add even more to it. I kind of had a similar experience. I was blown away when I first did it, but you're right. It didn't feel, it was like a roller coaster ride. And until you can dial it in, and that's what I try to tell everybody out there, because I see comments all the time of people talking about, yeah, I got one and it doesn't feel real, or this, that, and the other. If you're expecting to just plug this in and go, you have to tune it. And you have to tune it to what you're looking for. Like Gary said, for him, he wanted more subtle movement. He didn't want the extreme jarring stuff. For me, I'm kind of in between. I like to feel like when I pull that stick back in the F-18, I want to feel that thing hit. If I crash into something when I'm racing, I want to feel it knock me around. So you really have to tailor these experiences, and it does take some effort. It does take some time, but I'm glad that our videos at least helped a little bit, so that doesn't surprise me. But, I mean, the combination, I'm like you. When I did VR with motion and I had it tuned right, it was I always explain it as it's the closest thing that I can come to flying without leaving my basement. I mean, that's really what it was for me, and I get lost in there now. I almost constantly forget how much I enjoy it. I'll jump in and go for a flight, and I get out and I'm just going, what a world we live in where the technology gives us this ability. I mean, it's something else.
Yeah, it's really true. In fact, I think Jeff Weaver said something about when he gets it right, he starts laughing in the headset. And that's exactly right. I caught myself the other day doing the same thing. I'm thinking, boy, why did I wait all day long to come out here and do this, Because all of a sudden things were kind of working well. And yeah, so when it works, it works. But there's a lot of challenges. We've got a lot of gizmos bolted to one computer or two computers or whatever it takes. Yep. And getting everybody happy, getting everything happy and everything to work together nice is always a challenge. So, yeah. But the DOF part has worked great. I haven't any trouble with it.
So no buyer's remorse on the DOF?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Not for sale.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was so skeptical. I was so worried before I bought mine because it's a lot of money. I mean, mine at the time was $5,000. It's gone up from there. But you're like, man, if I spend $5,000 and I don't like this, is this going to be one of the biggest regrets I've ever made? And I can tell you, and I've said this on the channel 100 times, my DOF H6 is one of the best purchases I've ever made in my life, and I wouldn't sell it to anybody. I mean, we've done so much customizing on it. It's mine, and I'll be happy to help you get one like it. But no, you can't have mine. I love it.
I agree. This one's perfect for me. Ignorance may be bliss, and so if I tried an H6, I might say, "Oh gosh, that is so much better." But I'll be honest, I'm not sure I want that big spider calliope in my shop. I kind of like the chair. I really like this setup. It's just, it's small enough, and because you can customize the seat and you can do the things that you need to do, you can make it like a World War II fighter cockpit, sort of. And or a Formula One if you want the seat laid back and your feet way out there in the front and all that. You can do it, but my setup, I'm very pleased with.
Yeah, it's the same way. Jeff and I talked about, and you're a car guy too. This is kind of like getting a hot rod. You're able to customize it enough where you can bolt stuff on, and you can kind of make it into your own hot rod. And so we all kind of share that same philosophy, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's really true. I've already got things I want to change. The trick with this stuff, I think, is I have to get to the point to where I'm just learning how to fly and enjoying that part of it and not ripping it apart to kind of modify it all the time. But I keep thinking every time I sit in it, I'd like to change that, So.
Yeah, amen to that. We've gone from having the stock model. We added the SFU gears, and then all of a sudden we got the different screw drives that Igor sent us to prototype or to test out. And then we went ahead and switched over to Robert's mod, which you saw the motors, and then we switched back to the old. So I am exactly in the same boat. I just want to enjoy my rig for a little bit because it has been down with all these iterations these last probably 3 months. It's like, okay, can we just leave it alone? Of course, Igor's coming out with the, hopefully the No-Cog official mod. So we'll see what that brings. So there might be one more modification in my future, but that's we'll see what happens. And it's funny you mentioned the H3 versus an H6. I almost think for flight, I almost think that this is better in certain ways. And Jeff and I had a big discussion about this. The thing about the H2 or H3 is you do get a little bit more of your motion, your tilt in your roll and your pitch than you will on an H6. But the thing that I struggle with that I'd have a hard time giving up with the H6 is the heave. When you land, you feel it. I mean, it feels like you're hitting the ground. Or you come in for a carrier landing, that heave, when you touch down, I mean, you feel it. And it would be so hard for me to give that up. And then the surges a little bit because, I like the DCS, the F-18. When I hit that afterburner, I can feel the plane, I can feel it move. And so it's a tough call because I think you get a good experience out of the H2 or H3 because of the extra pitch and roll, but there's things the H6 can do for you too. The good news is you can always upgrade it down the road, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one, especially for the price point.
Yeah, and it'll be fun to see what you think when you try it out. Because the truth of the matter is, when I first got the rig and I hadn't had the SRS software adjusted to what I like, this thing, when you hit the ground with an airplane, of course with me flying, man, it shortened my spine by an inch. So it'll be interesting to see what you think. So I know it doesn't have those extra, the extra capacity that your H6 has, but still, it does a pretty good job.
Well, I'm excited to try it. So I'm going to jump in this thing and see what I think, and it'll be my first ride in H3. So we're going to take a look and see how that works. So stick around. All right, Gary, this is pretty incredible. For those of you that are watching, you may not know that the P-38 is actually one of my absolute favorite World War II airplanes. You got this very unique design of the fuselage. You got twin engines. This thing is just a awesome piece of machinery. So thanks for putting me in this. Let's see what we can do. All right, so got throttle, got toe brakes. All right, here we go. We're getting throttle. Oh, whoa, we got some torque. All right.
Let it get out about 105.
Yeah, I got to remember where all my gauges are. I should have done a cockpit orientation. That's okay. We're gonna go for it.
It'll get off the ground by itself.
I think we're.
Pull back on the stick.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. This is kind of cool. I've never had a throttle on this style. So that's kind of cool. All right, we got to do some motion here. Oh yeah. Let's get going up high. Pull back. Pulling a few G's. And we are inverted. So much more throw on this stick. I love it. A lot more fine-tune ability than on the Thrustmaster.
Boost your boost should be in the 30 to 40 range.
So 50 is probably a little high?
Yeah, 50 is a little on the...
I'm a jet jockey, Gary.
Oh, that's okay.
And I was about to go try to do a climb here. All right, so we're going to try this. This might end badly. I think I'm trimmed up. I think I got everything set. Okay, we're going to go full throttle. We're going to do a pull back. Oh, I'm getting some weather. Yep, there we go. We got to try hammerhead. Come on, come on, come on. Fall over. Should stall out. I'm not getting enough rudder authority, I don't think. Oh, I can split the throttles, though, like Maverick.
Yeah.
There we go. All right,
really works.
there we go. We got to try hammerhead again. I can't split the throttles on this one. Okay, so here we go. We're going up, go 90 degrees, and then we're going to kick the rudder over, and it should, come on, kick it over. Slowly but surely, kind of getting there. It's not a pretty hammerhead. It's more of a stall. All right. Well, that didn't work out so good. Oh, hey, regain flight authority. Somebody's in a flat spinish. Come on, don't do that. Everybody's gonna point and laugh. All right, we're back. We have regained control, Gary.
Good.
So, all right, this is cool. Yeah, this stick is amazing. Now I have to go rebuild mine and put a center stick on it.
It makes all the difference for me.
It's amazing how you have so much more fine-tuned control.
Yeah.
Which, duh, you've got a lot longer lever there, but I can see why everybody wants to be able to put the rhinos and stuff on their DOF rigs. Totally get it. Well, should I just land on this road? Because there's like a dirt field and there's a road.
Fine with me.
All right, well, you know what helps to land? Gear. All right, we're going to try to land. I'm not really straight, but come on, you're floating. You're off the course. Come on. Should be down. So yeah, that heave is something I definitely miss.
Is it?
Yeah, because now this thing wants to go tipsy-turvy on me. So got to make sure I don't crash it. Don't get on the binders too bad. We, I think, are down, sir. Okay, and we didn't tip it. So one of the things you have to really be careful of with a World War II plane. Oh, that's cool. So I hit the brakes and I felt some force feedback. These things can really nose down, and you can basically bury the prop if you're not careful. So not bad, my friend, not bad. So it was a great experience, and I want to thank Gary again for his kind hospitality and his generosity in allowing me to use his platform and just really get to spend some time talking with a fellow enthusiast. Gary's a really outstanding person with some amazing skill and amazing talent, as you could see in the video, and I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. So just as a reminder for those folks out there, if you guys like this content, remember we have the super thanks button down below. Any donations really help the channel out. And if you're interested yourself in one of the DOF Reality models, remember we have a special discount code, GYGO5, that will give you 5% off of any purchase you make for a DOF Reality platform, and that helps the channel out as well. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, remember to get your game on.
Okay, Mark from Get Your Game On has sent me some planetary motors that he was giving away in his one of his videos. So big thank you, Mark. They're here safe and sound. Let's get them open and see what we got. You certainly packed it nice and securely, so thank you. I'm really excited about this. It's not often I win things. I know it's not been easy for Mark to get these from the US to the UK, so really appreciate all the effort we put into making that happen. Let's see what we got. Care of Mark. Look at this. One motor plus the 3D printed cog mod. Got the couplers, we've got the leg extenders, and even got the quick, easy remove connections there. That's fantastic. There'll be another one in there as well. Fantastic. Big thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. I'll work to get them on at the weekend, figure out how to do the encoders, and I'm looking forward to no more cogging until Igor and the team fix it officially. You're an absolute star. I really appreciate that. Thank you.